I'm in a conundrum because I need to film, but I also need to finish this chapter. Like, I want to slap the woman's mother. That's what I want to do. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and in today's video I want to talk about 4 romances that you may have never heard of before. I did like part 1 of this video back in August, September, something around those lines, and I talked about 4 books that I had read that I had not heard of on BookTube or on Bookstagram. And I was like, these need to be talked about more. So I went on and I talked about them, and I figured I would do that again for this video. I have 4 new romances to talk about with you guys that either they're just not that well known, or they're by authors who aren't that well known, and I think they deserve more love. So let's just get into the first book. If you see me looking down, it's because I have my notes and I'm not memorizing it. Okay, so the first book is called Defiant Heart, and that is by Britton. I'm not too sure how you say her name, her first name, but Britton Walsh, and this is book 1 in the Starlight Cove series. In this book, you are following Brady and Luna. Luna is a very free-spirited individual. She lives in her van that she, like, you know, it's one of those vans that have like no back. You know what I mean? Like a kidnapper van. It looks like one of those. Anyway.
We are going to pretend we didn't hear that.
So she lives in that around town, and Brady is the town sheriff. Okay, so also Brady's family is very well known in the town because they own the resort, like seaside resort in town. So Brady, since he's the sheriff, he's very stoic, very by the book, very grumpy to Luna's sunshine. Well, their resort is not doing too well in town, and his sister, who kind of does like the PR for it and things like that, said that they are up for like this kind of like award where they would be talked about in a magazine about like best seaside resorts or something like that. So they were going to have someone come to the resort to write up an article about it. However, there's a problem, because on this land, which has the resort, there also is like this big tree that is old. And Luna is very much for keeping the environment as it is, you know, tree hugging, chain herself to a tree, that sort of thing. So they don't want Luna coming in and ruining this person that's going to come and look at the resort. So Brady's sister is like, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go, and I need you to watch over Luna and make sure she doesn't do anything too crazy. So that's what happens. Eventually, they come to have Luna start a yoga class on the resort, and everyone really seems to love it. But it's very cute. This book is very cute because of like their two opposites. He's very firm and like rules, and she's like, the rules, whatever. And I want to do, you know, what's happy, what makes me happy. And there's forced proximity in this because there's a storm that happens, and her van gets like demolished, like a tree falls on it. So she has to go and live a while. I can't remember if she lives at the resort or if she lives with him. I'm feeling like she lives with him, but it's been a while, so I can't remember if that's the case. It's one of the two. But it's the first in a series, and each one of Brady's siblings should be getting a book. And the second book is already out, but I haven't read it yet. But this one I enjoyed. You know, if you like the whole enemies to lovers, grumpy sunshine, small town, I think you would enjoy this one. Okay, the next one is called Always Her Love by Melissa Foster, and this is book 5. And I can never remember the series. Okay, The Steals at Silver Island. And this is book 4, not book 5. Book 4. So in this book, you are following Levi Steele, who is a single dad to I think she's 8. I think I'm feeling like 7 or 8-year-old little girl. And the mom is not in the picture because when she got pregnant with the little girl, she said you know, you either come and get her when she's born or I'm putting her up for adoption. So Levi was 19 when this happened, and he dropped everything to raise his little girl. Now, the mother of said little girl has a younger sister named Tara. And Tara has been a part of that little girl's life since she's been born. She spends spring break with them. She helps raise her. And she's had a crush on Levi since she's been about like 13 years old. So that's kind of where the story goes. So it's kind of taboo because she's technically the little girl's mother's sister, so her aunt. And there's like a small age gap, like 8 or 9 years, give or take, 7 or 8 years. It's really nothing to write home about, but there's a small age gap if you're into that small town romance. And I just loved this book. I loved it because like he didn't want to ruin their friendship, but like it's okay, you can ruin it. Like isn't that like in a Demi Lovato song, like let's ruin the friendship or whatever? But I highly enjoyed this one. And he is part of a motorcycle club. And it's not like a main part of the story, but all of the characters that he's friends with are in the motorcycle club, so you kind of get that family aspect of it as well. The little girl is so cute, and the mom is trash.
That's my opinion!
I'm just pointing it out that the little girl's mom, her bio mom, is trash. And I will scream about it until the cows come home. She was trash. But the sister Tara was absolutely fantastic and should have been her mother from the start, because she pretty much was her mother, you know, for all intents and purposes. She's been there since she's been born. And I enjoyed this one as well. This was actually like I'm pretty sure this was my first Melissa Foster book that I read. And since then, I love her stuff. I love her stuff. The next book is called Then and Now by Julia Jarrett, and this is book 5 in the Dogwood Cove series. You can read them out of order. You don't need they're standalones, interconnected standalones, so you don't have to technically read them in order. I didn't, but I still might go back and read them. But in this one, you are following... I don't know. Leo. Why did I not remember that? Okay, yeah. You're following Leo and Serena. Leo is another single father. Like, can you tell? Like, apparently I have a thing for single dads. It's okay. But he is the single dad who moves to Dogwood Cove to take a job as the town's new sheriff. There's a lot of books that I'm reading about single dads and sheriffs. We love to see it. But when he comes to move there, he finds himself face to face with his high school sweetheart, Serena, which automatically makes me think of Gossip Girl, which puts me in a great mood. So Serena is the town's dance teacher. She had these very high hopes of becoming a professional ballerina, but she was in an accident and she could not keep up with that dream, so she decided to teach. And she's been living in this town, and one day during like the town square flea market town thing going on, she spots him and just kind of goes from there. There is like a little mystery aspect to this, because like there is something going on with like vandalizing the town buildings, and hers ends up getting vandalized. So like he's trying to figure out who's doing that. But that's like a small part of like the romance is center stage in this book. But it's cute, small town romance. Now the side characters of the book all have their own books, because this is book 5, so like there's been other books. But again, you can read them standalone. But if you enjoy single dad, small town, second chance romance, you might enjoy this one. The last book that I want to talk about in this video is Hide and Peek by Victoria Wilder. This is book 2 in the series that I don't know. I'm assuming it's like Strutt's Peak series, because that's like the town. That's the town. And that's what I'm naming it. You're welcome.
I said what I said.
So in this book, you're following Henry and Giselle. Henry is in New York City visiting his younger sister. And he goes to this bar one night and he spots Giselle. They connect. They have a great night. They talk all night long. She says, I'm not going to give you my number, but I want to meet you tomorrow in Bryant. I'm pretty sure it's Bryant Park, Battery Park. It's a park in New York City. It's not Central Park, but it's a park in in New York City. And the next night he goes, she doesn't show. He's like, okay, what's up? So he goes back to the bar that she was working at, and it is taped up. There is popo all around. And it's a very serious topic. I'm laughing, but it's fine. They tell him that there was a break-in, a home invasion, and no one survived. Which means that Giselle did not survive. He goes to her funeral. Years go by. He keeps going back to New York City every once in a while, just kind of walking the streets, seeing if he can see her. Nothing. So I'm pretty sure it's 3 years that we bounce to after like that first chapter. He is set to go to have lunch with his family to announce his engagement to his new girlfriend. But guess who should show up at the engagement party with his sister? That's right. It was just, yeah, she's not dead. She's not dead. She's alive. She has just been in the witness protection program, and she is now living in Strutt's Peak. And her agent, she's like, you cannot get with this guy. Like, she tells her, she's like, hey, I know this guy. Is this going to be a problem? Do I have to uproot my life again and move? And she's like, not if you don't date him. But he is very high profile, so if you do date him, there's a chance that the people who, you know, broke into, I'm pretty sure they killed her father, I think. Broke in, you know, could find you. And she's like, okay, well then, yay. So she can't tell him why she's in the witness protection program, although he kind of gets the gist of why she is. So they pretend to hate each other for the sake of the public, because he is very well known. His family is very affluent in the town. They own like these winter sports resort staying in Strutt's Peak, so they are very well known. And so they start this fake enemies, but actually we really secretly want each other relationship. And so something happens in the book where he has to whisk her away to a small island for a while, so there's like forced proximity in that sense. And it was very, I don't know, the island gave me like Breaking Dawn vibes. If you've seen Breaking Dawn, like when they get married and they go to the island, it gave me those vibes. That's what it gave me, and I was living.
This girl is delusional.
But this book I just really enjoyed. I love the spice. I love Henry. Henry is now a new book boyfriend of mine. I love it, and I can't wait to have the other siblings books. The sister's book is already out. Hers was the first book. Henry's the second. I just want to get to the silver fox that is daddy and figure out his story. So I am here for the ride. But those are the 4 books that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I just feel like they deserve more love. So if any of these sound like something you'd be into, please look up the authors, look up the books, and give them a try. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new and would like to join the family. I would love to have you. Leave a comment down below of a book that you think deserves more love, because I have love to give. That's just how it is. All my social media is linked down below. As always, my Goodreads and my Instagram if you want to stay more up to date and day to day with what I am reading. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys. So let's just get into the first video. No. And so something happens to the resort, and it's not getting enough recognition. Okay. And then the last one that I want to talk about in this book, why am I keep saying book? It's video. She needs a bow. I'm so excited. I can't speak. It's fine. Okay. Henry is like a new book. What?